What's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how to do 5 different very cool effects using Roto Brush. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. No time to waste, let's go. So the first effect we're going to do is a fast motion blur effect. The first thing you want to do is get that clip and rotoscope it. I'm not going to show how to roto brush because there are so many tutorials out there. Even in my recent tutorials, I always show how to do it. So if you don't know by now, it's like, come on, bro. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. So when you have your layer roto brushed, don't mind the 2 layers. It's supposed to be 1 layer of rotoscope. So the first effect we're going to apply is called pixel motion blur. We're going to put the shutter angle at 2000, and then the second effect we're going to apply is Sapphire random edit. So it's basically going to grab random frames out of the video, and with the motion blur it's really going to give it that fast pace, that like flash effect. I forgot, you also want to put the shutter samples to 12. So now you get this effect, which looks pretty cool, but we want something seamless, like it goes into the effect and then it comes back to the original clip. So what we're going to do is press T for the opacity controls, and at the beginning we're going to put the opacity at 0, click on the stopwatch to animate it, and then we'll go a few frames further and put the opacity to 100. About there we're gonna put the opacity to 0 by the end. And now here's our effect. So the second effect we're going to get into is sort of a moving liquid in the background. So for the second effect, you want still a background layer with your character rotoscope. And now you want to take the background layer and duplicate it using Command D, and we'll call this effect. Now the first effect we're going to apply is called turbulent displace. We're going to keyframe the amount at about there to 250-ish and increase the size by a bit. Also we'll make the complexity to 3. Then we'll do Alt click on the evolution to animate it and do time 150. So now we get this. The second effect we're going to apply is CC Toner. We'll put the midtones to pink. Then the next effect we're going to apply is called Blobalize. We want that effect to get really a more of a liquid look, and also to animate it from it not being there to there completely. At the beginning, we're going to keyframe it, cut away to 100 so that it's not there. And then let's say in the middle, let's put it to 0 so that it's all there. So now we should get this. So it looks really cool already. We're going to add some glow. I'm going to use Universe Glow. I'll reduce the intensity. And then I'm going to change the blending mode to screen. The last effect you can apply is CC Force Motion Blur at the end. If you're able to get your hands on RSMB, that is a really good plugin for a natural motion blur look. I do not have that, however, so I'm going to use the built-in effect in After Effects. And now here's a result for the second effect. Alright, so for the third effect, we're going to do something with more of a glitchy kind of style. We're going to apply the effect Omino Diffusion. I'm pretty sure Omino Diffusion is a free plugin, so I'm going to leave that in the description so you can go get that. So we're going to put the color count to 5, and then we're going to animate the and put the direction up, and put the error aside, animate that in the beginning. And at about there, we're going to increase it to 0.060. Actually, I think I'm going to animate it throughout. And then I'm going to add some motion blur to finish it off. And you can really change it to any direction you want. You can put it down instead. Here's a result. For the fourth effect, which is my favorite, we're going to apply first Sapphire War Chroma. In the beginning, we're going to put from Z distance and from rotate, we're going to keyframe those, but leave it at the default settings. And then we're going to go to about there and put the Z distance to something like 1.1. The rotate option there, we're going to put it to 15. Also make sure to wrap X and Y, put that to reflect. Then we're going to apply the effect or Puddle. Let's put the frequency to 11, the amplitude at 0. In the beginning, we're going to increase the relative height and put it to something like 2. Then we're going to go to the same keyframe that we animated the other in and animate it to 0.1. Let's go to the end and copy the original settings, Command C, and paste them, Command V. And we're going to ease all of those. And now when that's done, we're going to apply warp fisheye. We're going to put it to 0 at the beginning, and in the middle, minus 0.8. And let's put it back to 0 at the end. Let's keyframe those. Now we should have this, which is already pretty cool. We're going to apply warp bubble. Apply that before the fisheye. Let's put the frequency to 10 and the amplitude to something like 0.1. Keyframe that, and in the beginning, we're going to put it to 0 and put it to 0 at the end as well. Press U to go into the properties and F9 to ease. And now we're going to change the color. We'll apply hue saturation. In the middle, we can put it to a color we like this. Then we can keyframe the channel range. Then let's go at the beginning of our timeline and put this back to 0. And at the end, let's put it back to 0 as well. And now the only thing that we need is some blur. So we're going to apply force motion blur once again. Now here's our final result. Last but not least, I'm going to show you how to do this kind of melting stretching effect. So the first effect we're going to apply is Sapphire Distort. And about there, we're going to put the amount to 1. Let's put blur lens at something like 60. And then in the beginning, let's put it to 0. And at the end, we're going to put it to 0 as well. I mean, there. And then the next effect we're going to apply is Stretch Frame Edges. In the middle, we're going to stretch it to around there. Let's keyframe that. In the beginning, we'll put it back to 1. And at the end, back to 1 as well. Now let's keyframe these. Let's add some motion blur to make it smoother. And now here's our final result. So that's it for today. Thank you for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video and if it brought you any value, please consider subscribing, leaving maybe a like, and let me know in the comments what type of tutorials you would like me to cover next. It can be a music video, specific effects, just let me know, I'll cover it. If you still feel like learning some new sauce and taking your editing skills to the next level, you can watch one of these videos right there. And I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.